Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. This is Mr. Ray. We're looking in Geometry Part B, and we're going to talk about surface area. I'm going to go over some similar questions to the ones in the assignment to help you out so you can get through the lesson. So here is our first example. This is like number one. So here is number one right here, and here is the summary example. So basically what this is a square-based prism. Now, how do I know it's a square base? Because right here is a base that is a square. So that tells me it's a square base prism. So what's the formula to find the surface area? Now you've got to do two things in the lesson. You've got to find the lateral area, and you've got to find the total surface area. So make sure you find both parts. I'm going to show you exactly what to do right here. So when I do a problem in surface area, I like to always identify the base first. It helps me to kind of, you know, organize my work. So my base is the square that has sides of 7 and 7. So I know that these numbers are all part of that base. So that automatically makes my height 12. So that just kind of narrows things down so I know what to do. So I'm going to find the lateral area first. The lateral area is the perimeter of the base times the height. So how do you find perimeter? You add up all the sides. So here I have a square. So a square, when I find the lateral area, would be 4 times 7 because it has 4 sides. So the lateral area is 28 times the height, which is 12. So my lateral area, pull out my calculator, 28 times 12 is 336. So that is just the lateral area. So now I have to find the total surface area. That means I have to go to this formula, 2b times the lateral area, or plus the lateral area. Well, what's 2b? Well, b is the area of the base. So that is area of the base. Well, in this case, the base is a square. So how do you find the area of a square? Well, it's a square, so it's side squared. So b is going to equal 7 squared, which is 49. All right, so I've got my two pieces. I just need to put it together to make the surface area. And so all I've got to do here now is just fill in. So my surface area is going to be 2 times b, which is 49, plus my lateral area, which I already found, 336. So now I'm just going to pull out the calculator, let it do the work for me. So I've got 2 times 49 plus 336. And so my total surface area is 434. Don't forget your units. In my case, it's inches squared because it's area. So that's how you find the area or the surface area, lateral area of a square-based prism. Okay, now let's look at the next one. This is a triangular-based prism. Now, how do I know it's triangular base? The bases are the sides that are parallel to each other. They're also the congruent bases. So in this case, I've got a triangle here and a triangle here. They're going to be parallel to each other because they're the same distance apart. And that's going to be the bases. The other three sides are not congruent, so they can't be the bases. Bases are a pair when you have a prism. But that's the same thing in yours. And I'm going to help you actually find that length right there. I'm going to tell you what to do. So what do I have to do first? Well, the first thing I got to do is I got to figure out what this side over here is. How am I going to do that? Well, I have to do the Pythagorean theorem. So I have to start this problem out by doing the Pythagorean theorem. And why? Because I don't know that side. I know this is a right triangle. So that's 8, that's 15, so that's my A and B. This is a right angle. squared plus 15 squared equals c squared. 8 squared is 64. 15 squared is 225. Yes, I just happen to know that one. If I add these together, I get 289. And you can use a calculator. I don't need a calculator for this one because I have this one memorized. Square root of 289 is 17. So now I have all my sides. So you're going to have to do that step first on this one to find that side. You need to know that to start with, apply the Pythagorean theorem. So now I'm going to do the same thing I did in the last one. I'll pull out my base, which is this triangle. It has sides of 8, 15, and 17. Now, why do I need to know that other side? I need to know that other side for my lateral area, which I have to find the perimeter. So I'm going to find the perimeter of this base. So I'm going to add those three sides, 8 plus 15 plus 17. Mr. Rowe, why don't you just know that off the top of your head too? Well, some things I just don't choose to memorize, and that was one of them. So plus 17, that equals 40. So I have the perimeter of the base. I also need to know the area of the base. Now, how do I find area of the base? Well, that's 1/2 BH. So 1/2 the base and the height. Which one's the base and the height? The right angle tells you. So 1/2, 8 times 15, which I'm pretty sure is 60. Let's clear it up. Let's do 8 times 15 divided by 2, which is 60. So now I need to find my pieces. I need to find my lateral area, then I need to find my surface area. Lateral area is the perimeter of the base times the height. Let's find that first. Perimeter of the base times the height. Now what's capital H? Well, capital H can't be any of these numbers. So in my particular problem, the only number there that is not part of those is this 18 right there. So you get the idea right there of what your height is going to be. So this is perimeter of the base, which is 40, times the height, which is 18. So my lateral area, on my calculator again, 40 times 18 is going to be 720. Okay, so now I have everything I need in order to find the total surface area. Surface area is 2b plus lateral area. So 2 times b plus the lateral area. That's going to give me my total surface area. So 2 times 60 plus the lateral area. That's 840. In my case, it's inches squared. So that's surface area for a triangular prism. Okay. Now this is a hexagonal prism. How do I know it's a hexagonal prism? I wonder what is a hexagonal prism. Well, hexagonal prism is a figure that has a base that is a hexagon. Now, how do I know it's the base? Well, there's two hexagons in the figure. They're parallel to each other. That makes them the basis. Now we have to go back and look at some of the things we learned in some previous lessons about how to find the area of a hexagon. The area of a hexagon, since this is a regular hexagon, that was the only thing we kind of focused on, is 1/2 the apothem times the perimeter. So I need to pull out the base to help me figure out all this stuff. So my base is a hexagon. I'm going to draw my hexagon. It has a side of 8, and the apothem, which goes from the center to the edge, is 6.9. All right, so now what do I need to know about the hexagon? Area, I need to know the perimeter. So let's do the perimeter first because we have to find that in order to find the area. So what's the perimeter of a hexagon? Well, it's a 6-sided figure. Each side is 8 units. So that's 48. That's the perimeter of the base. How do I find the area? Area is 1/2 the apothem. That's the apothem. That's the distance from the center of the figure to the edge. That's 0.9 times the perimeter. I just found the perimeter. That's 48. So pull my calculator out. And I've got 6.9 times 48 divided by 2. So my area is 165.6. All right, so now I need to find the lateral area and this total surface area. So let's find the lateral area first. Lateral area is the perimeter times the height. Okay, again, what's the perimeter? We figured out the perimeter in the last, or this little bit right here. Perimeter is right here. It's 48. Well, what's the height? Well, the height can't be one of these numbers, so the only number left in my figure is 5. So the lateral area, put on my calculator, 48 times 5 is 240. So now I just need to find my total surface area. 2b plus pH. Well, I found b right here. 2 times 165.6 plus the lateral area, which is 240. Just let the calculator do all the work. Plus the 240. And that gives me 571.2. And don't forget my units here, which is meters squared. Don't forget your units. All right, so now the rest, well, actually not the rest. We got a couple more things here. All right, here's a cylinder. I'm only going to do one example. We got 2 cylinders. They're basically the same. I'm doing the harder one, which is where you have to find the radius first. But understand that for the cylinder is 2b plus lateral area. B is pi r squared. And lateral area is 2 pi r h. So what do you need to know? You need to know the radius. So what's the radius? I have a diameter right here. So that means that my radius would be half of that. So my r in this case would be 5. So nothing special here. My lateral area, since I already know what I need to know, which is my radius, my height has to be the 11 then. So my lateral area is going to be 2 times pi times the radius, which is 5, times h, which is 11. And we're not going to substitute anything for pi unless I tell you to do so. We're just going to leave that just like it is. Change it. So let's see, 2 times 5, which is 10. 10 times 11 is 110 pi. You have to put the pi in there, make sure it's part of your answer. So now I find the total surface area. Surface area is 2b, so 2 times pi times the radius squared plus the lateral area, which I know is 110 pi. So what's 2 times 5 squared? 5 squared is 25. 25 times 2 is 50. So it's 50 pi plus 110 pi, which will give me a total of 160 pi. And then it's inches squared. So that'll work for both 4 and 5. You just need to know the radius. This one you already have the radius. This one you have to find the radius. Okay. Take a look at the next ones. Now these are pyramids. Pyramids, pretty simple, just like the other ones. We're going to find the base, find the information we need to know about the base, and then calculate the 2 parts. So the base of this figure, the base is always the flat part that the thing sits on for a pyramid. And all the sides are triangles. The triangles are not the bases unless it's a triangular pyramid, which is kind of weird looking. I don't even like looking at those. So the base here is a square. The square has sides of 7. So I need to know 2 things. I need to know the area of that square, which will be side squared, which is 49. I need to know the perimeter of that base, which has sides of 7. It's a square. So 4 times 7 is 28. So I got all my parts I need to know about my base. Now I can start doing my calculations. Calculate the lateral area first. Lateral area is 1/2 the perimeter, which I just found, 28, times L. What is L? L is the slant height. It goes from the tip of the pyramid to one of the sides. So that, in this case, is 9.7. So got my calculator. We got 28 times 9.7 divided by 2. That gives me 135.8. And then total surface area is B plus pH. Well, all I got to do is add these 2 things together now. So this one's actually one of the easier ones. Don't even have to multiply by 2. 49, which is my B, plus my lateral area, which is 135.8. Again, pull my calculator out. I've already got my answer there, so I'm just going to add 49 to it. And there's my total surface area, 184.8. In this case, inches squared. Looks like the random problems I picked out ended up mostly being inches, huh? All right, so here's another pyramid, but it's a little different. It is a hexagonal pyramid, which means the base is a hexagon. So I've got to go back and kind of do something similar to what I did with number 3. I've got to pull that hexagon out. And I've got to know the size. The sides are 6. And my apothem right there is 5.2. So again, I got to know 2 things. I've got to know the perimeter. I've got to know the apothem. And I can use those to find my area of my base and my slant or my lateral area. All right, so let's find the perimeter. The perimeter, it's a hexagon, so it has 6 sides. Each side is 6, so in this case it's 36. My area then is going to be 1/2 the apothem, which is 5.2, times the perimeter, which is 36. Calculator back out. 5.2 times 36 divided by 2. It's like that's 93.6. And so now I'm going to find my lateral area. Give myself a little more room here. My lateral area is going to be 1/2 the perimeter. Perimeter is still 36. Times the slant height. Any slant height on any pyramid is from the tip down to one side. In this case, it's 11.3. So pull the calculator back out. We got 36 times 11.3 divided by 2. So that gives me 203.4. So that's my lateral area. And my surface area, again, I've got this one all set up, so all I have to do is add. I've just got my pieces. So it's my B, which is 93.6, plus my lateral area, which is 203.4. Again, pull my calculator back out. Already got 203.4. I'm just going to add 93.6. And that gives me 297, and this one's meters squared. We got two more shapes. We got a cone and a sphere. Take a look at the cones. Some little space here. Shift the spheres over a little bit. Give myself some room. See, spheres gonna be an easy one. All right, so here we go. All right, so again, I'm doing the harder one. It's the one where I'm given the diameter because I need to find the radius. If you already have the radius, you don't have to do this first step. So all I need to know is to find the radius of slant height and do both of these parts. So my radius is going to be half of 20, which is 10. And then my slant height, 22.4. Lateral area, real easy, pi RL. Pi times the radius is 10 times the slant height, which is 22.4. And again, I'm not going to do anything with pi. I'm going to leave it as the answer. This is called the exact form. So this would be 224 pi. And then I just need to find the surface area, which is pi r squared. Pi times 10 squared plus the lateral area, which is 224. And so 10 squared is 100. So 100 pi plus 224 pi. Final answer, 324 pi kilometers squared. So real simple on cones, I think. I think it's cones and spheres to me are kind of the easiest ones. And then last but not least is the sphere. Again, I'm picking one where I have to find the radius. If you already have the radius, you skip this first step. Everything else is kind of the same. I've kind of explained everything else in the lesson. I'm just trying to help you get through the assignment. So all I need to know here is the radius. Radius, since this is a diameter, is half of this, which is 6. And so to find the area, surface area, there is no lateral area. That's 4 times pi times 6 squared. So that's 36 times 4, 36 times 4, 144. And that's going to be inches squared. So I hope this helps you with the lesson on surface area. If you still need help with one of these as you're doing your work, please set up an appointment for a help session so I can help you out.